All right, so this one's going to be serious. As you guys know, I hate making serious videos, but they're becoming more and more frequent because sovereign citizens and Moors keep doing incredibly horrific things. Now, this is going to be a video on the Dallas police officer who was executed, Darrel Brooks, executed by a Moorish sovereign citizen. We're going to show some clips from the news outlets. I've also found his Facebook and YouTube accounts. We're going to watch some stuff from that. His dad is going to be interviewed and do what a typical delusional dad would do and say, "Oh, I don't know how this happened." Dad, it's on you. I'm placing the blame on the father, and you'll find out once I play his little short interview he did with, I don't know, one of the Dallas news outlets. But I don't know how long this video is going to be, so just bear with me.
On his Facebook page, I heard that he's talking about like demons or something like that.
Emery Cobb says his son started acting strangely a few days ago.
Feel like somebody was chasing him, just like the police was after him.
Doorbell camera video shows the SWAT team pull up to his house around 2 a.m.
Somebody had a whole police force out here.
Emery Cobb says they busted in the window of the backyard guest house where his son lived and took his son's laptop and magazines from his gun.
He was a very good person to me, you know. That's basically it.
He says Corey lost his job as a trucker earlier this month and may have used laced drugs. He says their family is struggling to understand how his youngest son could kill a cop.
Unbelievable. You know, I couldn't believe it myself because he never behaved anything like that.
In Dallas, I'm Cole Sullivan.
So let me talk for a second, then we're going to jump to his Facebook page. This is the shit that pisses me off. This guy executed a cop, shot two others, and then was ultimately killed by, I think, 6 officers when he tried to pull a gun on them. Yet he's 30 years old, and they showed a picture of him graduating high school. That's not who he was. Again, I'm going to flip to his Facebook, and you're going to be like, oh shit. Yeah, he's fucking crazy. His dad going, "Oh, we didn't know, blah, blah, blah." Your son made it pretty fucking clear that he was a more sovereign citizen. If you took 2 seconds to look at his Facebook page, you'd be like, oh, yes, he's fucking crazy. And sorry for swearing, but this shit gets me heated because parents like this are the problem. If you see your son, daughter, falling down a domestic terrorist, I don't know, rabbit hole, it's on you to stop them. This guy should have been either educated, corrected, or, again, hashtag make asylums great again. So we're going to flip to this. First off, we're looking at Corey Cobb Bay, a.k.a. Kamor Llewell Bay, true Moorish American national from the several states. So right off the bat, he's not all there. He starts rapping about sovereign citizen Moorish shit. Who got the nearest Moorish Science Temple of America in Dallas, Texas? Wanna know, please, thanks. The Moorish Science Temple of America needs to come out and be like, you guys are the problem. Like, we do not support this type of bullshit behavior. Look at all these photos. Why were these photos not used? Why were these photos not used, but his high school graduation was used? Are you kidding me? And now everybody, like, I don't even feel bad. I went through his comments. I don't think I commented, but everybody's giving his account shit. And his friends are like, oh, we lost a good friend. I don't care about your friend. Your friend literally got what was coming to him after he did horrific acts in the name of domestic terror. So before we jump into that guy's nonsensical fucking YouTube page, which is just, again, nonsense, I wanted to point this out because this is the only reason I'm doing the video. So, Frauditor Roundup tagged me in this video from 21 hours ago. I got the notification this morning, watched it, because I didn't realize that the guy who committed this absolutely heinous crime was a sovereign citizen, was a Moor. I consider them one and the same as a Moorish sovereign citizen, but I did not know. After I, watched it, I decided, yeah, I'm going to cover it. I'm going to add a little bit more detail with finding his Facebook and YouTube accounts. Now we're going to jump to his YouTube account called Righteous Expansion. Basically, what is his name? Kamor Llewell Bay, a.k.a. Corey Cobb Bay. First off, just from reading his description, I'm pretty sure I lost a few IQ points. A free man by birthright and by actions. You mean your father didn't see this happening on YouTube? Didn't see this happening on Facebook? And instead, he just decided to take no action. He said, oh, my son lost his job as a truck driver and started doing drugs that we believe were laced. From what it seems like, just from looking at his account here, it seems like as far as a year ago, he was probably doing laced drugs. He probably left his truck driving job to try to be a SoundCloud rapper. And if you guys recall, most Moorish sovereign citizens don't have driver's license, which makes it really fucking hard to be a truck driver. But we're going to play this Kamor Luel Bey Cosmic Weatherman to see what he's about, because if we're going to be honest, I don't think he's going to strike me. Now we're going to skip ahead because I don't want to hear the DJ Khaled of this song, you know, saying we the best.
Got a recipe.
Yeah, win some strange times.
Yeah,
Divine signs. Look out
there we
for.
go. Moroccan flag that don't
Look outside. The weather is looking clear. The future is bright for the righteous. Like a chandelier, and pestilence is coming for the devils. The ones that's destroyed based on fear. The sense of this world is full. The highest tier. Shout out to the prophets. They kept us right amongst these sellouts. They won't.
The prophets kept him right through the sellouts. I don't know what to do with this guy. We're going to read this Dallas news article, and then I'm just going to get out of here because this guy's crazy. Corey Cobb El Bey, Kamor Luel Bey. I don't know. It seems like he's never listened to a rap song his entire life. I would say, I don't know how he jumped from this to executing cops, but the Fez gives it away. The fact that he tries to identify with Morocco, even though they're like, we don't claim any of the Moors because it's fake. These guys are probably Moorish sovereign citizens are probably more delusional and less educated than regular sovereign citizens, and that's saying some crazy shit. So before we get into the article, something funny happened while I was making this video. So we have Corey Cobb El Bey, and I went to the comments and was just reading the comments of his family members, other Moors, trying to support him even though he executed a cop, which that's not the hill I would die on, but if you want to do that, go for it. They were trying to say to somebody who's like, Moors are this. And they're like, don't make one person out to make the entire movement bad. And then it kind of hit me. You have the Moor from Pittsburgh, the old man that was unalived by the police after a standoff because he was like trying to squat in someone's house. And we already have a video of him prior at a traffic stop freaking out. So that's one, and I want to say that happened within the last 8 months. Two, a few months ago, you had the Moor from Florida who decided to unload on a bunch of officers, and now you have this guy. So it's like, okay, a few times, yeah, but that's just in the last 8 months. Again, I said at the beginning, the Moorish Sovereign Temple of America, or whatever the hell it's called, they need to come out, they need to issue some sort of statement and say, Moors are not this. Moors are this. It's all made up, but this is the acceptable way to do this because y'all are actually fucking crazy. They're all history revisionists, but the Corey Cobb Bays of the world, they're actually fucking crazy. Now we're going to jump to this Dallas police. Actually, it's from the Washington Post, but it's about this incident. And we're going to read this, and like I said, we're going to get off here. So, Dallas officer executed, 2 others injured in targeted attack, police say. Police say that they fatally shot Corey Cobb Bey, thankfully, 30 years old. Again, you're 30 years old playing fuck games, wearing a fez, rapping in front of a Moroccan flag, even though Morocco doesn't claim you. But I digress. On Thursday, after he killed Officer Darrel Brooks while he sat in his squad car between assignments. This should really put it into perspective for frauditors of why doing what they do gets the reaction that it gets. If you sneak up on an officer or decide you're going to run up on an officer, this is why they react the way they do. So this is by Victoria Bissett, a whole 4 days ago. A Dallas police officer was executed and 2 others injured on Thursday in what officials call a targeted and premeditated attack on law enforcement. I agree. Thank you, Victoria. Officer Darrel Brooks was parked near the front entrance to a community center between calls around 10 o'clock. When the suspect approached his squad car, police say in the statement on Friday, Corey Cobb Bay, 30, appeared to be recording on his cell phone. Again, frauders. I'm not saying what you're doing is necessarily wrong all the time, but don't be shocked when you get the reaction that you do after shit like this happens. As he briefly spoke to the officer through the driver's side window, police said, then they said, Cobb Bay drew a handgun and fatally shot Burks. Now this is where it gets not more interesting, but where the premeditated part comes in my opinion. I believe it was the chief said, I know the word ambush has been thrown around a lot in the last 24 hours, but he thinks it was actually an execution. Roughly a dozen other officers from Dallas have been killed in the past decade. Of those, 5 were killed in a single incident in 2016. I can blame somebody for that, but I'm not going to say that now. On Thursday, a dispatcher noticed an unusual transmission from Burks' radio. Police said the dispatcher tried to contact Burks but got no response, so they sent other officers to check on him. Cobb Bay, meanwhile, went back to his Buick, took out a shotgun, and put it on the roof of Burks' patrol car. That's the part where, okay, you not only... If you have a handgun, I have a handgun on me like 90% of the time. If it just happened to be a handgun and it was just a thing, sure. I don't really just roll with a handgun and a shotgun in my car to do any of this. Like, that is premeditated. So when the first officer, Jamie Farmer, got to the parking lot at 10:11 p.m., Mr. Cobb Bay immediately shot him with the handgun, striking his leg. Farmer got back and ran and was all good. He then grabbed the shotgun from the top of the car and fired more at Farmer, who kept running, not shocked by that. Then Cobb Bay ran after Officer Carissa David. I hate to butcher these because these people literally had the worst moment of their life just recently. As she got out of her car and was shot several times, she returned fire and was struck in the face during the exchange. Cobb Bay fled to Louisville, about 20 miles northwest of downtown Dallas, then stopped on the expressway and got out of his car. Police said he allegedly approached the officers and pointed the shotgun at them, and 6 officers turned him into Swiss cheese. One of the comments from his Facebook page was something really messed up that I'm going to repeat because I thought, great one. They tried to comment to the people who are defending him, hey, they're probably power washing his blood off the highway in Louisville right now. You should go watch. I hope they cremated him and they stuffed him in a fez and I don't know, put it in pig shit or something, because this guy just deserves absolutely the worst in life and death. People were already commenting, damn, I bet it's hot where you are. And again, his people are like, oh, you didn't know him. I didn't need to know him to look at his actions and go, yeah, he's a bad guy. So Cobb Bay died on scene and none of the 6 officers were injured. Thank God. Farmer was released from the hospital on Friday, and David was in critical but stable condition. Yes, the investigation determined last night was premeditated, again, for no other reason than the uniform they wear. The police chief's men and women proudly wear for... Oh, God, like, this is just hard to read because this guy is was such a scumbag. Days earlier, he said Cobb Bay had approached an unmarked squad car belonging to an unknown law enforcement agency and recorded himself asking officers why they were parked there. Because they're doing their fucking job. Now, scram. Online, Cobb Bay had shared that he had problems in his professional and personal life, Garcia said, and he made a post about indicating an event would happen Friday. There is currently no evidence that Cobb Bay and Burks knew each other, Garcia said. He added that Cobb Bay's guns were purchased legally. I don't have any problem with legally purchased guns. As you guys know, I'm very pro-Second Amendment, but very anti-crazy people, and sovereign citizens and Moorish sovereign citizens especially fall under that umbrella of crazy people. Garcia also said that there were indications that Cobb Bay was part of a Moorish sovereign citizen movement, which the Southern Poverty Law Center describes as a collection of people who believe that individual citizens hold sovereignty over governments. Moorish sovereign citizens have recently engaged in violent confrontations with law enforcement. The Southern Poverty Law Center says the Dallas Police Department Special Investigations Unit is probing the incident, and the Dallas County District Attorney's Office will carry out its own investigation. That's where we're going to leave it for there. We're going to leave it there. I don't know if you guys can hear. I'm getting a bunch of Facebook Messenger requests, more than likely from people in his family trying to talk shit to me. Eat me. I'll tag you in the YouTube video. Come at me there. So, like I said, there's been 3 in the past 8 months to a year of Moorish sovereign citizens. I wish that they would have went a little further into the Southern Poverty Law Center definitions of Moorish sovereign citizens. So I'm going to take a break real quick, and I'll be back with those definitions. So we are back from picking up the boy child and girl child from school. I'm in a little different outfit now, but this is going to be the Southern Poverty Law Center's Moorish sovereign citizens, basically describing what they are and what they're all about. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit more clearly. I've actually shared this in several videos, but the Moorish sovereign citizens, slight offshoot from regular sovereign citizens. The Moorish sovereign citizen movement is a collection of independent organizations and individuals that emerged in the early 1990s as an offshoot of the anti-government sovereign citizens movement, adherents of which believe that individual citizens hold sovereignty over and are independent of the authority of the federal government. So, let's keep going with this. I believe it was Noble Drew Ali from way before 1990. Give me a hot second. Let me actually look this up on my phone. Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, Noble Drew Ali actually died in 1929 in Chicago and was born January 8th, 1886. He was kind of like the starter of this bullshit. So the date found in 1990 is a bit off. Members of the Moorish sovereign citizen called Moors have clashed with federal and state authorities over their refusal to obey laws and government regulations. Recently, Moorish sovereign citizens have engaged in violent confrontations with law enforcement. You can't see my face, but I'm making the shocked, Home Alone face. Moorish engaged in violent confrontations with law enforcement, and they have also been known to retaliate against government authorities through financial means called paper terrorism. Moorish sovereigns espouse an interpretation of sovereign doctrine that African Americans constitute an elite class within the American society with special rights and privileges that convey to them a sovereign immunity, placing them beyond federal and state authority. This is the I'm a Moor, Morocco was in America, therefore we were the original inhabitants, therefore no laws apply to us because we were here before America was America, which is just factually inaccurate. In their own words, there's a Moorish American Resource School Facebook post. Political thieves, usually descendants of European colonists operating upon American continents, have, by outright criminality, taken unlawful leave and advantages of the usurped seats of government and have polluted the sanctity of their official oaths to uphold the Constitution and treaties and are unlawfully violating the natural people. Taj Tariq Bey. Yeah, so that right there, fucking revisionist garbage. Dr. Alim El Bey has another one. You can literally go back and back and back and back with all these nonsensical things. But, you know what? I'm going to call it a day. And apparently none of my cameras want to work. There we go. Found one that worked. Yeah, that's the video. Hopefully you guys, didn't enjoy it, but found it a little bit informative of why Moorish sovereign citizens are in a kind of a danger to just society as a whole. So I came up with the 3. I'm going to add a 4. The rise of the Moors who decided to go roll up on a bunch of cops at a highway. And then if you watch any of their court proceedings, the parking lot was filled with other delusional history revisionists, aka Moorish Americans. These people are dangerous. Again, I said it in my live stream from a whole, yesterday ago. These people are dangerous. If you see a fez, walk the other direction, because more than likely they're going to try to harm you because they think they're better than you, even though in reality, they have delusions of grandeur. More than likely, they're a piece of shit human being, so they have to create or follow this line of thinking that make them feel important, when in reality, they're just uneducated losers. But hopefully you found this informative. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.